Hello, hello, and welcome. I'm so excited to be here today. Welcome to our health fair. Welcome, alternative healthcare community. If you're here, if you're watching live or the replay, super excited to chat a little bit today about trapped emotions and really some of the things that can block healing and recovery and help get you through that so you can thrive and you can feel your absolute best. So, I'm going to go ahead and jump right on in. And if you have questions along the way, please do put them in the chat, whether you are live inside the event or if you are on Facebook. We are streaming there today. So if you're on Facebook, please do feel free and put questions in the chat, and I will do my very best to get to them. If I don't get to them live, I will follow up with you and answer them separately. So, awesome. So let's dive in today's topic. And all right. So today, we're just going to answer the question, what blocks your natural ability to heal, to recover? And truly, this is a big thing because if you're here, you're seeking answers. I don't know what's going on, whether it's something physical, something emotional, a combination of things. If you were in the previous workshop with Judy, I mean, incredible insights about how the body. Acts and reacts in a state of stress, and that you need to look at what's optimal versus what's just quote normal. Okay, because normal is not normal. Your body is designed to heal, it's designed to recover when the conditions are correct. And so that's what we want to focus on, is getting you to a place where your body can just naturally do what it's designed to do. And so you can have, the perfect plan. You can have, what you consider like the perfect health and wellness plan. You can have the best doctors, you can have great therapists, you can have amazing coaches, all the different tools, the hacks, the biohacks, all the things, right? There's so much out there. There's so much research that all these different things can benefit health in different ways. Um, Whether that's a specific medicine to help with a certain condition, whether that's red light therapy or frequencies, or whether it's eating a certain food and nutrition, is whether all these different things, exercise, all of these things. We know that these things work to guide us to a place of optimal wellness. However, if we need to find the right plan, but if we're doing everything right, but we're still not getting the results that we want, then something else is going on. And so, if you're carrying emotional energy from the past, you're just in a place where you're not able to fully move forward because you've got some things stuck or trapped in the body that's maybe interfering with your body's ability to regenerate, to heal itself. And so we're going to discover a little bit about that today and what causes that and how we can fix it as well. So let's discover, there's a lot of different types of imbalances that can interfere with your recovery efforts. So what I am going to clarify today is the fact that everything I'm going to talk about with energy and with these different blocks, the emotions that can block them, the other imbalances, all of this is incredibly complementary. You are a human being, okay? You're an energy being, and you are mind, body, and spirit. And so when we look at healing, we have to look at the whole person. And so if you have a plan from a doctor, from a coach, from someone who's an expert at helping you on your journey, follow that plan 100%. If you've sought out help and you've gotten that the right labs and you've gotten the right eating plan or whatever it is, follow that plan. But know that we need to address some of the underlying emotions and other imbalances to get you to a place where that will work most effectively. Okay, so we're going to dive in a little bit more to this topic. So, First of all, who the heck am I? I want to share a little bit about me, and you're welcome to take a screenshot if you want to follow me on socials. It's just easier, I think, to have that and look at it later. But I'm Kate Simpson. I am an energy healing practitioner. I work with both people and I work with animals as well. I love helping pets heal as well as humans. I have a number of different certifications, all that to say that I really help you from an energetic standpoint, get you to a place of optimal wellness. I'm a master practitioner with the Global Energy Method. I am an emotion code and body code certified practitioner. I use sound and frequency healing to support the body, just getting into that optimal state. And my journey really did come from a space of just having an interest in natural and holistic stuff my whole life and being curious. But my journey really took a big turn when I had my own health challenge. I dealt with an autoimmune disorder. And because I had that curiosity and kind of experimented and tried different holistic practices, when I had my health challenge, I very much sought the help of both Eastern and Western medicine. And I was very grateful to have the diagnosis from the doctor, the ability to get different labs and to discover what was going on. But I also used holistic medicine to kind of support my healing journey and really discover what was at the root of what caused it in the first place. And so, really working together, I found a path to better health. But then later in life, um, something that really stuck with me was the fact that the holistic doctor I worked with had discovered that I had really a stressed out adrenal system. My stress hormones were out of whack. And so we corrected that. But unfortunately, after I got well, I went right back to the same patterns and habits of overworking, of ignoring my body, of stressing myself out. And it just dawned on me that if I didn't change, I was going to invent a new disease. So for me, that really is what led me to learning about the emotion code, the energy healing practice of the emotion code. I did it as self care for myself. And for me, it just brought me to a healthier mental state, a healthier emotional state. I could think before I reacted. And I just found that I was feeling more and more energized, and I was just getting to a healthier place because I was taking care of myself emotionally. And then I started to discover other energy healing methods, incorporating those, and just came to a place where I knew I was never not going to do this work, and I wanted to help as many people as I could. So I, really dove into more education and getting certified. So that's kind of a little bit about my journey, and I love sharing that because, there's many ways to clear the conditions so your body can heal. And it's important to know that we just have to clear out um, the just the stuck energy, the negative imbalances in order to let your body do what it was designed to do. So feel free, like I said, and take a screenshot if you want to follow me on social or contact me. But let's dive into this topic. And the first thing I really want to share is you are not stuck. Okay. You have stuck energy, but you're not stuck. Okay. It's a big mental reframe. Okay. You might be dealing with different challenges, of course. And when you're in the thick of just dealing with whether it's a severe stress or you're dealing with trauma from the past, or you're just dealing with a health condition, or maybe someone in your family is, and it's just very, very, concerning for you because you want to help in every way possible. So understand that you're not stuck and that your body does know how to heal, and it maybe needs the right conditions and it needs a little bit of time, but your body does know how to repair itself. And so I want to just clarify that you are more than just this physical body. Okay. You are an energy being, and you have an energy system, and you live in an energy world. Okay. So I want to just kind of really zero in on the fact that everything out there, everything is energy, from the house that you're in, the chair that you're sitting in, the computer or phone that you're looking at me through, the trees outside, everything out there is in its purest form energy. And all energy just vibrates at different frequencies and it can be measured by different wavelengths. So everything is energy in its purest form. Some energy goes into creating your body, some energy goes into, the food, the nutrients that you eat. And when you consume it, you convert that food into a different form of energy that supports your body. Everything is energy, including your thoughts and your emotions. Okay. And that's a really important distinction to understand, that your thoughts are energy, your emotions are energy. And when you realize that if your emotions are energy, your emotions are also this physiological response um, to your environment. You're human. You're meant to think. You're meant to feel. And you're never going to stop that. Okay. You're going to be thinking and feeling and thinking all day long, every day. Okay. But it's important to understand that when you look at dysfunction or dis-ease or discomfort, if you look at emotional discomfort or physical discomfort, whatever it is, um, the Center for Disease Control actually has stated that around 85%, okay, this is a huge number, around 85% of all disease appears to have an emotional component to it. Now, we can't stop ourselves from thinking and feeling and thinking, okay? We can try, and a lot of us do try. However, that is a normal, natural function. And if all disease, is has this emotional component to it, then it's important to understand that if we have disease, we need to address the emotions that we're thinking, feeling, emotions that we're currently experiencing, and emotions that we maybe have felt in the past. So it's really important to address that because emotions can cause a physical response in our body. Okay. So, all right. So let's talk about these emotions, okay? You'll hear me talk a lot about something called a trapped emotion, and a trapped emotion is simply your emotional baggage. Okay, how many of us have ever, maybe in our own minds, you've heard the term or you've experienced this idea of not dealing with emotions, um, bottling up your emotions? How many of us have ever bottled up their emotions at some point in your life? Something happened, you got really stressed out, and instead of just sitting there feeling it, you were like, nope, not dealing with it. Yes. Absolutely. Emotionally constipated. Love that. Absolutely. Please understand that that's perfectly normal. All of us do that. There's times in our lives where sometimes things are really intense and we don't want to feel. And I'm going to encourage you that we might need a healthy time or a place to feel it. Maybe the environment triggered something that you need to feel, and it's not something that's good or exciting or healthy. It's all healthy, but it's really, maybe we don't have we need to push through. Okay. We're going to talk a little bit about how to manage that, but we want you to know that it's important to feel, whether it's good or bad. The quicker that we feel it, the quicker that emotion moves through us. So I want to just kind of go through what's healthy and what's not healthy as far as emotions go. And so a healthy emotional experience is something happens, maybe you see a funny movie and you laugh, and all of a sudden you have this laughter, this joy from something silly you saw on the TV, right? So your body takes in that input and it triggers a chemical reaction in your brain. It sends a signal to one of your organs or glands, and that organ or gland creates an energy. And that energy is called an emotion. And so it's kind of like a wave. Your body produces it, you feel it, and then it moves right along. Now you might find that thing on TV funny and you laugh for a couple of seconds, but you don't laugh the rest of your life. correct? Right? You just feel it, you enjoy it, and it moves along. And then another emotion comes up, and another emotion comes up. And you may recognize those emotions, or you may not be actively paying attention to them, but you're thinking and feeling all the time. So if you pay attention, you'll notice that your emotions are always moving, they're always shifting, and that's normal and healthy. And I promise that every single one of you does this very successfully every single day. Now, what happens when we interrupt that process? That's where these quote trapped emotions come in. Okay. Maybe it's that negative experience that we have and we witness something, we see something, we hear something, somebody gives us says something to us, it upsets us, or whatever it is, and so we then produce an emotion that's maybe not so good. Maybe it's a negative emotion, maybe it's stress, maybe it's anger, maybe it's frustration, sadness, despair, hopeless, grief, right? Normal healthy emotions, they don't feel good necessarily, but they are normal, right? So you start to feel that negative emotion, and even that negative emotion, that fear, that nervousness, it's giving us information. And so if we feel that fear, we recognize it, we identify it, and then we just allow it to pass through. That's a normal, healthy emotional experience, right? Even though it wasn't a positive emotion, we recognized it, we allowed it, and it moved along. When we trap an emotion is when we have that negative energy, that anger, that nervousness, that fear, and instead we do that bottling up process and we say, not dealing with it. And instead of allowing that to process, we interrupt that and then we trap the emotion. We suppress the energy of that emotion in our body. And it's like a ball of energy that could be anywhere in your body. It could go right back to the organ that created it. It could be in your heart, your lungs, your eyeball, your knee, your toe. It could be trapped in your body, and it can also be trapped right outside your body. You have an energy field around your body, and it can be trapped there. And wherever that vibration is, you continue to feel that emotion again and again and again. So instead of saying, I'm not going to deal with it, essentially, without realizing it, you're dealing with it all the time because you've suppressed that energy. You've trapped it in your body. Does that kind of make sense to everybody? Give me a yes in the chat if you're with me, if that makes sense. And this is a powerful thing to understand. Okay. When you trap an emotion in your body, now that vibration is with you. And guess what? Now, wherever that is, it's disrupting, um, tissues, muscles, organs, glands. It might be disrupting brainwave function. It might be affecting blood flow in your body. It could be disrupting your hormones in your body. It could also then be a situation where it creates an emotional habit or an emotional pattern. It might be easier and easier to feel that negative emotion because guess what? You've suppressed it. A lot of us will suppress the same type of emotion again and again and again because it's uncomfortable and we don't want to feel it. So we suppress it, we suppress it, we suppress it. Okay. So, what happens when you suppress all of these emotions? Well, guess what? Chronic pain happens. These emotional patterns and habits that I talked about, it can absolutely keep you in that stress response, which is a fight, flight, or freeze response, right? Um, it absolutely can keep you stuck in that. We have that nervous system, right? Where we have the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. If we're in that sympathetic, we're in fight, flight, freeze, right? We can't, our body shuts down what's not necessary to survive, right? So if you're suppressing these energies, you're putting yourself in that unhealthy stress response. Your hormones are going to be out of whack. It can also really disrupt your thought process. It can affect your focus. It can affect your mental clarity. It can affect your ability to really, if you're trying to learn something and it's disrupting your thought process, you're not able to gain that information. So all kinds of things can happen when you trap emotions. Okay. Now, here's the thing. I'm not trying to paint this ugly picture, but I want you to understand that this is something that we do pretty much all the time. All of us have trapped emotions. We all do. And so it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's just something to say that we have to recognize that we have this stuck energy, this trapped energy. But if we move that out, Okay, it doesn't mean we're not going to feel that emotion again. If something comes in your environment, you might feel that emotion again, but you'll be able then to feel it and release it. Okay, it's not about not feeling, it's about allowing that healthy emotional process. Okay, so we want to be able to feel and release. And so if we can do that and we can then release the trapped energy that's stuck, well, guess what? That vibration, that disruption, that trapped energy in your body is gone. Guess what your body can do? Rebalance, repair, self correct, self heal, self repair, all of that. Your body can do what it's designed to do because the energy that's there, that stuck energy has been removed. And it's a very, very simple process to do. Once we can identify energies there, we can release that energy. Okay. So let's dive in a little bit more. So when you think about like holistic healing, it really does look at mind, body, and spirit. You are an energy being in this energy world. Okay. So there's various types of imbalances. Okay. Now there are physical energetic imbalances. This deals with your physical body. This is what doctors tend to look at. This is what holistic health practitioners, the one I worked with, looked at my body, looked at my blood work, and he looked at things that were going on hormonally with me. He did like a hair mineral analysis test, all these different things to look at what was happening physically with me. And so there are physical energetic imbalances that are real, they're legit, and we can find those with energy healing. We can determine if there's a certain part of the body that's out of balance energetically. So, for instance, maybe it's an organ, like your liver, maybe it's your stomach, maybe it's a gland in your brain or something like that. So, if let's just pick the liver, for example, right? So, your liver has a healthy, natural, optimal vibration. And if your liver is showing through whatever tests you use that it's vibrating too high or too low, it's not in that optimal range, well, then we have potential dysfunction. So then we can say, okay, if I'm dealing with trouble with my liver, what energy is disrupting that organ? So we can work with a physical energetic area by releasing trapped emotions. Are there trapped emotions? Are there other imbalances that are affecting the physical organ? Or even the system of the body. We can look at the entire digestive system, the respiratory, the circulatory system. We can look at all of that through energy and discover what imbalances are affecting the physical body. Okay. Now, sometimes this stuck energy is just a trapped emotion. Sometimes it's a negative memory that you have. Sometimes it's a thought pattern. Sometimes it's an actual energy of a toxin or a pathogen virus in the body. Sometimes it's simply that the organ's misaligned. It's not in its proper position. It got shifted. Maybe were an accident and something got jostled and your organs got moved, right? So it can be misaligned. So we can do all of this energetically by looking at the physical body. So there's physical energetic imbalances we can adjust with energy healing. There's also psychological energy that we can address. So psychological imbalances deal with your mind. They deal with your psyche. They deal with just things, again, mind related. So psychology. All right. So let's think about when we are young, our subconscious mind is wide open. We're taking in all this input from our environment. Okay. And so things get in our mind as we're developing as a child cognitively. We might experience a trauma. And that trauma might create a little break or a stoppage in our development because of that trauma. And your subconscious wants to protect you from that trauma. Now, after the experience passes, you continue to develop cognitively, okay? But there's still maybe an energy left over from that experience that we can identify and release, and that would be a psychological imbalance energy. Okay, so we've got physical energetic imbalances, we've got psychological energetic imbalances. And I just want to pause here for a minute. and say that you don't have to figure all this out. That's the best part. But just know that when you look at mind, body, and spirit, you don't have to try and guess or figure out or evaluate what it is and try to understand it all yourself. Your body will actually tell us what we need to do and where we need to look. And I'll share with that in just a minute with you. So, okay, so then we've got spiritual energetic imbalances. This is where we look at your energy body, things like your chakras, your meridians. You have these powerhouses of energy, your aura or magnetic field around your body. Um, these are energies that typically we can't necessarily see, right? Now we can test them with equipment. Now scientific equipment can actually see the meridian pathways that we've known are there forever from traditional Chinese medicine. They can see chakras. There's a really cool, and this goes back many, many years. There's something called Kirlian photography, where they can actually take a picture and see the aura around the body. So really, really fascinating. If you want to dive into that rabbit hole, look at Kirlian photography. So spiritual energetic imbalances deal with your energy system. They also deal with those trapped emotions I talked about, but they also deal with things that affect us in ways that are spiritually related. So sometimes we have like just a way of cursing ourselves or a way of I don't know, self-sabotaging, that type of thing can create these spiritual energetic imbalances. Okay, now we have the trapped emotions, of course. Trapped emotions are what I shared earlier. This is kind of a foundation, and this can be found, trapped emotions can be found in the physical body, the psychological, and the spiritual areas, or they can just plain be a simple trapped emotion that's just somewhere in the body and we find it and release it. Okay, we also have blocks to mind, body, and spirit into healing and thriving and recovery called energy walls. And this is when your subconscious is trying to protect you. And so it might protect your heart, which is most common, but it might protect certain areas of the body if you're having an injury, and it creates a wall of energy around a part of the body or a part of the mind or a part of the spirit. I mean, typically it's around the heart to protect your heart, keep you from heartache, keep you safe from heartache, keep you safe from pain. But these energy walls can build up and they can get bigger and bigger. And although they're initially there for protection, they can actually cause a disruption. So when the pain of a heartache passes, that energy wall should come down. When a injury happens in the body and the physical injury heals, the energy wall should come down. The protection should come down. But if these energy walls stay up and they don't come down, that's kind of when you're in that fight or flight mode. You tend to just pile onto these energy walls. And what happens is now there's a distortion around your heart. There's a distortion around your body, and it interferes with your body's ability to communicate with itself. It interferes with your heart's ability to communicate with your mind and your mind's ability to communicate with your heart. It affects how you relate and communicate with other people and how they relate and communicate with you. Um, so there's so many different factors when we look at energy walls, and there's different types of energy walls. So it's a big factor. So when we look at holistic healing, we have to look at all of these areas. We're looking at physical, psychological, spiritual, emotional with trapped emotions, and energy walls. And it might seem overwhelming if you're new to this and you've never heard this before, but I want to share it's a very simple and easy practice to recover when you can identify these. And identifying them is just the first step, and then releasing them is very simple, gradual, and it's an amazing practice. So let's talk about releasing your stuck energy through energy healing. Okay. Your subconscious mind knows everything that's happened to you in your life. Okay. It is an amazing computer. It's a record keeper. It knows every emotion you've felt, every food that you've eaten, everything that you witnessed or saw. It's this incredible computer. Now, your subconscious has a very important job. Its job is to keep you alive and keep you safe. However, how it does that may disagree with what you want consciously in life. Okay, so its job is going to look at the habits, the patterns, everything that's happened to you in your life, and it makes decisions to keep you safe. So that's a good thing, but it's also really what's cool about that is we can actually talk to the subconscious and ask it what's going on in your body. And your body, if you've ever heard of that book, The Body Keeps Score, highly recommend that book. Really, really amazing. Um, and when I talk about like these trapped emotions being stuck in the body, that's a way of your body keeping score. It understands that there is something there that is stuck or trapped, and it's creating a physical disruption, right? So when we think about your subconscious mind with energy healing, we can use muscle testing to talk to the subconscious and ask what caused, contributed, or created whatever the situation, symptom is that you're dealing with. Okay. So, muscle testing is a very simple, gentle way of connecting and asking. And I know we're not really in a situation where we can do a demonstration, but I actually want to share that if you're part of the alternative healthcare community, I'm going to be doing some really fun demos and sharing a little bit about muscle testing on it'll be August 5th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time inside the alternative healthcare community. So you'll be able to actually experience a really cool way of asking your body what it needs. So I'll just share that part of it. Okay. But it involves you being able to learn how to muscle test yourself. So that's what we'll be sharing a little bit in the community. So there's lots of benefits if you not only from this health fair, but joining that community, we can pop in and give you some extra information and insights. So, okay, so when we do muscle testing, we're basically asking the body, we're asking the subconscious what needs to be released. And it's very simple, it's very gentle. And here's the best part, you don't have to talk about what happened. I'm not therapy. Okay. I'm not a therapist. There is definite value to therapy, but I'm not a therapist. I am not about the story. I want you well. I want you to feel well. I want your body to be in that optimal wellness state. I want your body to clear out all that negative stuck energy so your body can rebalance, repair, heal itself. You can be in that optimal state of wellness. And so energy healing allows us to do it in a very simple, gentle way. You don't have to talk about it. You don't have to relive a negative experience. You don't have to figure anything out. You don't even have to remember what or why or how something got trapped in order to let it go. You just don't have to. Now, some of you love to connect the dots, and if that's your thing, awesome. You can do that. But the beauty of this is you're not going to be re-triggered. We're gonna identify things and let them go. And that's the beauty of energy healing. It's just an incredible practice. And I know that there's so many people that have been part of AHS that have experienced this, that have had just incredible results from releasing things like one trapped emotion. I've worked with clients that literally have had chronic pain, chronic tension in their jaw, chronic headaches, pain in their shoulders, back, hips, and they say, okay, I've gone to the chiropractor, I've done the massage therapy, and I get temporary relief, and I've changed my diet. I'm doing all the right things. And should you keep doing all the right things? Yes. Keep doing that stuff. Your body wants it. Absolutely. However, if you keep circling back to the same pain point that comes up, then it's time to look at energy healing, because you might just have a physical energetic imbalance, a psychological energetic imbalance, a spiritual energetic imbalance, a trapped emotion, or a wall. And if we release that, that goes away. And I'm telling you that I have talked to client after client that we released maybe 1 to 10 trapped emotions, and suddenly their headaches are gone. Suddenly their shoulder pain is gone. It's absolutely incredible. They weren't even working on headaches. They were working on another issue with me, and suddenly their headache went away. I've had people who didn't tell me what was going on with them. They wouldn't tell me the symptom they were dealing with. They just wanted it gone. And so we asked the body what energy needed to be released. And they're all of a sudden they're telling me later, you know what? I'm someone who is PTSD and I was afraid to leave the house. And after our session, I went out and I got in the car with my spouse and I drove to the store and came back. I mean, hadn't left the house in a year and was able to do that. So it's incredibly powerful what can happen when we don't try to um, guess or figure it out on a conscious level. We just ask the body what needs to be released, and the body does its own healing. So, if this is something that's like a curiosity for you, you want to learn more about, one, I suggest joining the community. Join me on August 5th. But also, I would say if you're curious what it's like to work with me, there are various ways you can do that. Feel free and take a screenshot of this. Sometimes it's easier to take a screenshot than to try and type, websites and stuff like that. But there's lots of ways to work with me. So the first way is I do private energy healing sessions. You can book one session or you can book a bundle of sessions. It's entirely up to you. But private sessions are you and me. We can do it by phone or by Zoom, and we just really, it's what you want to work on, and we can get very, very deep into those different imbalances. We also have what's called an inner healing session, which is a group session. And a group session I do in collaboration with Jody Solberg. She's a master trauma-informed hypnotherapist who also is part of the community here at AHS. And we do a combined session where we release energy. We do the releasing of trapped emotions, and then we also go through guided hypnosis to help repattern the subconscious mind towards that new positive future. Okay. And then we have the self care path. And this is really where I use a lot of sound and frequency to process your emotions. And yes, if you're hearing a puppy, I do apologize. My puppy has decided he wants to leave the office while I'm talking. So my puppy is now expressing his emotion about wanting to leave. Okay, well, with this, these three paths, I have clients that do all three paths with me. I have clients that just choose one or another. And what I suggest is if energy healing is something you want to explore as the missing piece in your healing journey, then go ahead and book a free discovery call. That's with the QR code. And you can just do that QR code. It'll take you right to a page where you can go to my calendar and schedule time to just talk with me. And there's no pressure. It's just you and I. Let's talk about what's going on with you. And I can share maybe what path might be right for you to support you along your healing journey. Or you can go to that website link, that link tree, where you'll see actually all the different types of sessions I have. You can explore the sound and frequency. You can learn about emotion code with that website. You can book a single session, a group session. You can just see everything that I offer from there. So, like I said, take a screenshot of this or hop on one of those links. I am here to answer any questions that you have. But I just want to encourage you that I apologize. Moment. Well, we almost got through my presentation. I apologize if you heard my dog intensely barking. Uh, oh my goodness. Gotta love it. My sweet dog knew that my husband got breakfast, and he usually gets a piece of my husband's breakfast, and he was locked in my office while I was presenting. So he didn't get his special treat from daddy. So that's what was happening there. Um, okay, so anyway, I just want to empower you. I want you to know that when you're a part of like alternative healthcare solutions, you have access to incredible practitioners. I love supporting people with energy healing, and I really do feel that it is something that is complementary with everything that you're doing. If you are trying to eat better, you should do energy healing with that. If you're trying to start an exercise program, incorporate energy healing with that. If you have you're really trying to just figure things out and you're working with a holistic practitioner, and you're implementing changes, but you're in a very challenging state with your health, and you're in that fight or flight response, you're dealing with stress, you're dealing with chronic physical dysfunction and all these symptoms, I assure you that if you come it with it's complementary to add energy healing. If you add energy healing sessions into whatever you're doing, and if you're struggling with your health, um, finding out what's under the surface can have a huge impact on your body's ability to recover and to implement all of the practices and all of the things that the doctors, the holistic practitioners are doing. Releasing that stuck energy will help your body heal in a faster, quicker, more gentle way. It's going to help with symptoms and support your body. So it really is something that is complementary, and it's something that can really compound your results, and get results quicker from what you're doing when we get to the root cause. So hopefully this was beneficial. That's all I have for you all today, unless there's any other questions. Um, I would love to answer any questions you have, and I encourage you to join me on the 5th as well as part of the community, and you can discover how your body talks to you that you maybe never knew it was doing. So thank you all so very much. It's been a pleasure being with you today, and I know we have more exciting information coming up later on. I think you're going to get a chance to hear from Sheila Gardner, which I promise you, you don't want to miss that. All right, wonderful, everyone. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day today.